I believe my content for most people should be viewed at night. I mean it. Yo guys, I'm back. These past 2 weeks have been pretty hectic. I made the video. I was like, I'm in the trenches. You guys are gonna see like the behind the scenes and when I created BakWalks. Honestly, the way I've been maneuvering it, the support I've been getting, the vision I have for it, the execution, the learning process, you know, the behind the scenes work to create this brand, to cultivate this brand. It's been different. It's been a different experience. It's been a different exposure, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about that. But I'm gonna give you guys very practical, very helpful advice that sometimes I need to listen myself. This is also a good reason I make these YouTube videos. It's not necessarily for views. I even said it in the beginning, my very first video. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make these videos so I learn more authentically. You know, my YouTube videos, they're for me. But you know, some people pick up value. That's great as well. You know, it's iron sharpens iron. That's a triple win situation. Everyone's winning. But I've been noticing my content. You know, I'm on the platform YouTube, and I'm competing against people where YouTube is the new TV show. Really, YouTube, you could have found like really dope shit, but it's changed so fast. You know, like social media, YouTube stars right now, Logan Paul, Jake Paul, these guys are extremely energetic. Their energy levels are different, and that's the way YouTube is going towards. It's more Hollywood. It's a lot more TV, and my content, you know, it's the chill dude. Like, you gotta actually listen to to even understand what I'm saying and to really harness the value. Because think about it, you could either watch people who do pranks, or you can either just take a couple minutes to really just focus on what's being said. Think about it. Everything's moving so fast that you hardly even pay attention to what's happening in front of you. And it's very hard that we're present. You know, our phone is a whole new gateway. It's a whole new world, literally. The digital world. Think about it, from your social media to your emails to your work to businesses marketing on you to cognitive biases implemented from, you know, from your own making of this world. That, you know, you got games to play, entertainment, it's everything. And it has its pros, it has its cons. And the pros are that you can get videos like this where it's literally information that can change your life. I can say that with confidence because I used to do that much more often, and I would just take a seat back, listen with the open ear, take it in, I was a mental sponge. I still am to this day, but I'm much more careful on what I let in, and it's very hard to find the right people to really genuinely listen to that provide value. I'm telling you, finding tangible real value that makes your world better is like mining for gold. Finding real advice. That there's so much noise out there. There's just so much noise out there. But one thing I noticed is that my vibe, you know, through this channel is much more slower. I'm not gonna try to compete with these big YouTube stars. You know, maybe I don't get 10 million followers in a year, but I'm gonna attract the right audience. If you're listening this far, it definitely means that you're probably at an environment where it's mellow, you know, it's not active. I'm guessing it's more on the night because I believe my content for most people should be viewed at night. I mean it. I really believe that most of my content is meant for people that aren't just in a situation and environment that they can really listen. They don't have to do chores. They don't have to go mow the lawn. They don't have to do dishes. They don't have to run to work. They're not driving the car. Now, of course, I have content that it helps you go process. It's like a podcast, right? Podcasts are great. But even podcasts, this is different from a podcast. This is like you're viewing me. You're viewing my communication, the way, you know, my body position, my hand gestures, my eye contact, and this kind of stuff, right? A podcast is just audio. Visual represents so much more. And I strongly feel that visual is a key way to learn. If people can explain good things on camera and you know, just deliver the value. Make sure the value travels ear to ear. Boom, you got something right there. So now it's time to talk about what I'm making this video about, and it's about practice. Okay, think about this. We all know, we all have something that we practice a lot. Like, we practice it so much that it's almost a habit. Think about it. Think about like these past years in your life. You have habits. There's just practice and practice. Everyone's different, and one of them that I have is that every weekend, since I was in the age 4, I help my parents with mambo jumpers, and I do some of the physical labor. This is when I do blue collar labor, and it's honestly a great contrast between white collar versus blue collar labor. Personally, you know what, I'm gonna exclude what I'm gonna say is better, but just understand that, oh, since I was at age 4, I'm 19 now. Every weekend I would go out, hammer the stakes into the tarp so the jump house stays safe. That's what we do. It's the age of 4, and every tarp carries 4 nails. And I come in, they're not nails, they're big stakes like this, and I carry a jackhammer, like those, you know, not a hammer, like a real jackhammer, and go ta ta ta. And now I'm so good at hammering it. Not trying to be cocky. I'm not saying I'm the best hammerer in the world, but now I just go tss, 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 like I can almost close my eyes. I don't want to, because in case I hurt, if in case I miss, I hurt my head. But you know, I feel like I will soon. But anyways, that came to me through practice. It wasn't necessarily my passion, right? Like, I didn't want to practice hammering to become a good person to hammer nails, but that skill came to me in a way that I wasn't necessarily trying to get it, but it came to me through exposure, through real practice. And this is just in hammering. Imagine if you practice in the key area that A, you're self-aware that you're passionate about, B, you're actually competent, you're good at it. You just hit something. You just boom, that little light bulb should have popped up in your head right now. Because we all have our stuff. Some are much more athletic, some like running, some like being extroverts, some like being introverts, some like learning about this. Some people love psychology, some people love, a lot of people, especially girls, they love like the horoscope type kind of stuff, right? Whatever it may be, what you're really passionate about, and this is the best way to learn it, trust me. This, like I said in the beginning, this is why I make the videos, is practice. But in a sense that you're just doing it over and over, that you build a skill. Like I said, I was having a brain fart, but I tried covering up. Maybe that was sloppy, but understand, being on camera is hard. You know, I have mistakes, I have my stumbles, but I never fumble. And what I was gonna say about learning, the best way to learn is to teach it. Trust me, like I said in the beginning, this is why I make my YouTube videos, to teach. And by me teaching, I grow, because I harness much more of the information I put in. So I'm gonna call this to an end. You know, I don't like beating around the bush. I like delivering my values straight. I put in a sense that it's a story and it could be entertaining. Like, your brain naturally loves stories. Okay, you know, it's like your brain. Imagine this. Imagine that your brain is like a big leech, and it feeds off sugar. And the brain, when it hears a story, it's like this. The story just represents a big ball of sugar, like the Jawbreakers from Ed, Edd n Eddy, and your brain's a leech, and your brain wants to get onto this ball, you know, to suck out the sugar. Well, some stories are better than others. Some stories, like Harry Potter, are a sugar ball so big that's worth billions. You see, and the brain just sucks it up so much. It's so big. That's a great story. Harry Potter's a great story. Try creating a story like Harry Potter. It's a whole new world, literally. Star Wars. Star Wars was a great, you know, story that was a great ball, made billions of dollars. And that's just talking in the term of finance. Imagine in the term of memories, happiness, and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I dropped a lot of sections. Play this video back, because even I catch myself when I make it. I drop value in a different type of way. I'm not like the school teacher that's like, you know what, guys, take notes right here. You know, the way I deliver my value is I'm talking, I deliver that point, and then I don't say I'm moving to the next point, but I am. And just keep along, tag along, listen. Pause the video. Some people do not like pausing videos. Trust me, there's videos out there that I paused like at least 30 times for me to really comprehend what was being said. 30 times. I go one time, I kid you guys not, I never said this story on camera, but one time I was reading, and I was reading The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb, and the way, this is when I was barely starting to read like heavy, like influential, like big literature, you know, nice words, exquisite vocabulary. And when I landed on this chapter, it was the beginning of chapter, what chapter was it? Probably, I don't know, but the way he wrote, it was so nice that I read those 2 pages for an hour over and over again. I remember this word. I learned this word in that chapter. In those first 2 pages, the word vivacious. Say it with me. Vivacious. 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 You know, that party was vivacious. Vivacious means lively. It means lit. Why do we say lit instead of vivacious? Imagine if this generation was actually interested in expanding their vocabulary, that they're like, you know what? This stuff, that party was vivacious. Expanding your vocabulary just tells a lot about you. Trust me. Now, you know, of course, you want to come off as that dweeb that throws in fancy words that nobody knows on purpose. That's the key thing. But imagine if we were comfortable enough to say those words. This is vivacious. But most people don't know what vivacious is because they don't read. I've seen that word plenty of times in the books behind me now. Like, it could be confirmation bias as well. But that word, you know, imagine if exquisite, you know, all these, like, omnipotent, omnipresent, like, these big words that you're like, oh, they're big, but I understand what you're saying. Or that they're different. It's exquisite, but I really know what you're saying. And that makes language beautiful. Language, to create language, just think about it. They say it's so complicated that aliens did it, but humans were just smart animals, man. Through evolution or religion, whatever you believe. I'm not here to judge your beliefs and your principles, but whatever created us to, you know, comprehend, create a language complexity enough that you can understand what I'm saying right now. That's pretty advanced. For you to even create a camera that can record at this level, play it on a platform that can host this video and play it for you, that this video is on the web forever. That's holistic learning. And ladies and gentlemen, when you start learning, life becomes interesting. You become amused a lot more. But it comes at a price. They say ignorance is a bliss. That quote exists for a reason, but as a person, I can confidently say I would rather much be aware than ignorant. I've been both sides. I've seen the difference in myself. It's like Warren Buffett. He said, I've been poor and I've been rich. I prefer rich every single time. You know, I've been ignorant, I've been aware. I prefer being aware every single time. It's really like that. So, I'm calling this video to an end. SD card can't handle that much. Sorry I haven't been posting. You know, I'm busy, but not having time is simply an excuse. I made time for it. It's been on the back of my mind for a while. Trust me. I'm like, oh, I should make a video. In fact, my girlfriend and I, we set a goal. It's like, you know what? Let's help each other try to meditate every day. I'm like, I want to meditate, but I can't find myself fixing, you know, injecting the time throughout the day to do it. And then when I'm in bed, I'm like, oh, I could have meditated. I hate that feeling. I hate it. So we set that up. You know, iron sharpens iron. Create the best environment you can. So I'll make a video on that. And it's a little bit personal. I like being low key. Same for her. She's an introvert. But I'll talk about relationships, or, you know, talk about the idea, the concept of it. Whoa. Stop. I'm about to do shameless plug. I'm about to stop you there so I could do my shameless plug. If you literally went through that whole video If you watch me speak for, what was it, 17, 18 minutes? Focus. Bok you think outside the box. That's honestly a huge test, is people's ability to focus, people's ability to actually listen to stuff that has value. Why do you think Bok has grown at a rapid rate? Because I've been dropping content, people really listen, and they're starting to see the vision, the purpose, like look, and just look how beautiful this. Just look, like I wish I made time earlier to make like a little dope skit or dope video for it. Oh wait, shout out to my boy Karen, man, Carlos Miranda, the fucking G. I'm telling you, we're gonna market and make this brand huge. Look at that logo. Take a look at it. Understand it. Let me take the time to explain the Bok logo.